Brainstorming and sharing ideas is the funnest part of the creative process. We decided to skip the boring part of actually making stuff and just do the fun part. I'm your host, Tom Wolma.
I'm Sarah Young.
I'm Nick Kelly.
And this is Creativity Wasted. I had the idea, I call it recycling balls. And the idea would be, instead of having a recycling bin, you have like some of them would be like little, like whatever size ball this is. And then like bigger, like basketball size balls. And you just have like a hopper of empty balls. And you just, whenever you need to throw something away that you can recycle, like a plastic thing or paper thing, you just put them in one of the balls and then you just send it down a chute. And then
what are the balls made of?
I thought either some sort of plastic or metal.
What is somebody going to do 20 years after this invention when they got one of your balls? And that's trash. And they got to recycle it. How are they going to fit it inside of another ball?
Well, the idea would be they keep going back and forth to the recycling center. Eventually, the recycling center would not return the bad balls to you.
Bad balls.
They would filter out the rank, disgusting balls.
This never happened to me at the bank, where they're just like, "Yeah, no, this tube is broken."
But so the idea would be, like, you have a hopper, the balls go down. Maybe they like collect in like the trunk of your car or in like a thing, and then you could even have like the mail delivered in balls instead of in a mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
So the mail, when they drop off the balls of the paper, now their mail truck is like emptying as they're going along their route.
Right.
So that's like a waste of gas to have them keep driving around with a vehicle that gets emptier and emptier. So the mail balls go out, the recycling balls go in.
As fun as it is to say mail balls, I gotta admit, I feel like they thought. Thank you. I feel like they thought of it at one point, and then they said no. I mean, I feel like an envelope, nice and flat, is pretty good. The problem with a ball, anything, is it can roll away. Can't put it on a table. Can't put it on the ground. Can't throw it.
You could throw it. The other thought was that you could like do a drive-through recycling thing, and like you could have like a thing shoot the balls.
You could play skee ball with your. You could like do like bank deposits with the skee ball, and you get extra $1 if you get it in that top left.
If you hit the bad spot, you lose your whole deposit. So
damn.
And you wouldn't have to throw the balls. You could have like a drive-through, like you're on rails, and then you just drop the balls like in between, and they just roll like down.
Huh.
So you don't have to send them out somewhere where it can fuck up. They just
every once in a while, a rich person's ball would be rolling down the street, and we're all Indiana Jones gotta duck it.
It would probably make sense more for recycling. Like most of the things you recycle aren't gross, like paper and plastic and stuff. Like it doesn't have like food chunks on it necessarily. Like
right.
So they wouldn't have to hopefully clean the balls. But if you could get that to work, you could have like just throw all of your trash in balls, and
they'd have to clean the balls.
Then they would have to clean the balls.
They'd have to clean it anyways.
Yeah, but
eventually
they'd have to clean it less often.
So you're talking a whole tube system, like a grid of tubes throughout everybody's houses.
In Singapore, they have like a pneumatic trash thing. Like all the buildings have like a chute, and it goes down underground, and it like goes sideways through some pneumatic underground trash thing.
That's interesting.
There are other trash handling things other than big ass trucks.
Shit. I mean, if you think about it, man, we get our electricity from wires that go above the ground, and then we get all our water, and all our water goes away under the ground through this tube system throughout the entire city, throughout the entire fucking civilized world. Why isn't our trash like that?
Exactly.
Somebody would put a fucking, like a mattress frame in there.
Yeah, you'd need some way to handle the large trash pickup. So yeah, not everything would fit in the things.
But somebody would try. Like, fuck the government, and just throw their kid down there.
And that someone would be you.
I would never throw a kid down a hypothetical tube. A real one. We could talk.
But yeah, I was picturing for the trash balls or the recycling balls. I wasn't picturing pneumatic tubes like throughout all of the land. Like
where
I
would the
pictured
tube
them.
go?
I pictured them eventually just going into trucks. So you'd have them in your house, so you wouldn't have like a trash bin or a recycling bin that just piles up and it starts to stink after a while. And so it'd be convenient that way. And also, if you had the balls, like at the factory or wherever they go, like the recycling center or the trash center, you could have these machines that like look in the balls to see what's in there, and they could sort them pretty easily at like down different assembly lines and shit to take care of it. So
you thought, wow.
Yeah, I actually think through some of the ideas. But actually, what started the idea was, have you been watching YouTube? Do you know who Mr. Beast is?
Is he somebody who like shoots a basketball on top of a building into a hoop?
He's a YouTuber who does he did a Squid Game reenactment. That had like over 100 million views like last week. But he tends to do things like, I'm gonna put 1 million balloons in a swimming pool, or I'm gonna
put open 1,000 Gatorades in a bank. I know, just something that makes no sense and just is very interesting to watch.
Yeah, or I'm gonna order a pizza and I'm gonna tip the guy the deed to the house that I'm in.
Right.
So he does like shit like that too with money, like giving out lots of money. He also does charity things. He did that Team Trees a couple years ago where he raised 20 million to plant trees.
Okay.
So the one he's doing this year is called Team Seas. He's raising 20 million to do like ocean cleanup. And there's this like 20-year-old genius kid from like Europe somewhere, and he invented these ocean cleanup machines, and he invented a machine that like goes in a river, and basically as the trash floats down the river, he puts the machine at like a river bend, and the trash
like a pasta strainer to me.
Yeah, basically a giant pasta strainer for rivers. So he was talking about that, and the river one, he actually has some of them actually in some of the rivers in the world, and they actually work really, really good. But he was saying the problem is there's some of these third world countries, they have these slums and they don't have trash pickup. So what happens is the trash piles up all year round in like alleys and like empty lots where people dump trash and stuff. And then the yearly floods come and it just takes all the trash out and into the ocean. They actually mentioned this in the video about the river cleanup machine. And so that's how most of the plastic ends up in the ocean, is because of these floods of these slums. What he's basically saying is the river cleanup machine doesn't clean up most of the trash, because the problem isn't the trash floating down the river all year round. The problem is when it floods, then the big tsunami of trash hits the ocean all at once, and the river trash collecting machine doesn't handle that.
So the problem, let's be honest, is people putting their garbage in a river.
Well, sort of.
I like the idea of water carrying things.
Yeah, that's
you didn't invent the boat, but you invented a transportation system of something that we all want out of our house. To a singular point.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for fish and wildlife drinking from that river, or everything else, morality, that would be a tremendous idea.
But that's where my trash balls come in. You put the trash in the balls, and
you think the balls wouldn't leak?
Well, you make them better over time.
It's only in the beginning ones that would leak.
Yeah, you're gonna be apologizing like BP. We're sorry.
So the idea is, because these river catching trash machines work really good, but they don't catch the trash that piles up all year in the slums.
So the balls would be in the slums, so the trash is pneumatically sent away?
Not pneumatically. So you give the people in the slums these trash balls, and you tell them to put the trash in them like all year round and just throw them in the river. So you don't need trash pickup service.
All you got to do is go to any trash can and see that there's going to be a piece of garbage on the floor. People can't even throw it into a fucking hole. They got to put it in a ball and lock it. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be more trash in the water at the end of the day.
But if you give them a convenient way to get rid of the trash.
The tubes.
Well, you're not going to build a $1 million tube system in a slum if you're so cheap you won't even take a garbage truck down the slum. Part of it is the slum, it's not even designed for like cars. It's like you can't even get a garbage truck down there in some of the slums.
But how big are the balls and what quantity would they hold? That's another thing too.
Well, you got a Pikachu, you got a Charizard.
I don't know how big the Pokemon guys are, but I think you'd have like a super small one like this, like a...
And that would hold, I mean, honestly, like 2 water bottles, maybe.
And then maybe like a basketball size one. And then maybe a giant like medicine ball size one. And then other trash they would have to figure out. Balls.
Why not boxes? Or bags?
Well, bags would probably leak. Balls, it's easier to make them sturdier.
I'm too immature to not laugh at some of this shit.
But yeah, the balls.
You're talking about 30 junk balls, bags, ball bags. Ball
bags.
So something had to be said.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have to take them anywhere. Maybe in the slums, you just like roll them into the road, and some kid who's playing soccer just kicks it. Kids would like to kick them into the river because it's fun, you know.
Here's something: even if your hypothetical recycling balls go into the ocean, they're waterproof.
Eventually
they're still in a ball.
Yeah.
But that ball isn't going to be biodegradable and whatever. Yeah.
But you could put trackers in some of the balls, and you could figure out where they go, and you could figure out what percentage of them are getting past the garbage sifting machines in the rivers, and you could make it better over time. So that's the idea: is recycling balls.
I like that. I think this was a productive podcast.
Let me see if I have any more notes on the balls. If I could have a ball-like system in my house where I wouldn't have to take out the trash, I just drop it in a thing and the ball just goes somewhere, I would prefer that, because I'm sort of lazy taking out the trash and it starts to stink after a while. I got sick of having to take out the trash more than once a week, so I got 2 kitchen trash cans and put one next to the other one, so they wouldn't fill before the end of the week.
Yeah, but then you just have a whole trash can full of trash in your middle of your house.
Yeah, that's the problem. But if I had balls that could just
roll down to your neighbor's house,
roll to wherever they need to go, to the garage, into my car,
I feel like, all right, so anytime, if I had to move a big ball right now from here where I'm standing to outside in the garage, I feel like I'd rather have a box. It'd be annoying to bend down and I gotta roll a ball.
Well, yeah, that's why I want things to drop the balls into, so you don't have to manually pick up the balls.
Burn your trash.
Yeah, that's one solution. Any other thoughts about the balls?
We could put the old people from the first thing we talked about in the balls.
they have the big blow up balls that you do jousting in that people are inside of, and they're human sized.
You guys are a little older, but you ever play monkey ball? Great game.
Those balls you get in, they could fall down the stairs and it wouldn't even matter.
Well, exactly, because they'll just bounce.
Oh, yeah. A lot of padding. Bubble wrap proof your parents' house. And that way you know when they fell, because there's proof.
You could hear the pop.
And you see it. If you haven't been there in a week, you get there, and all the bubbles are popped all the way like down the rail of the stairs, or like at the wall at the bottom of the stairs. Like, why did you hit that?
Exactly.
See, it all comes full circle.
Or you could train animals, because like at the circus, there's animals that can, like a seal that can like hit a ball with its nose. You could like train animals to get rid of the balls
on their way to the fight.
Yeah.
This has been a production of Planet Amp Podcast, powered by Pinecast.